Are you looking to build a high-end home theater system for your apartment between 5 to 7 lakh budget? Then this is the video for you. We will go through each and every component, which TV, amplifier, speaker, surrounds, in ceiling speaker should you buy for the best cinematic experience for your home. First thing first, let's discuss about the TV, the heart of your home theater system. I will be only recommending one TV and one model over here. The reason is very simple. Your budget is high, and I think you should have the best cinematic experience that money can buy at this price point. So we will be going with the LG G4. The only thing that I want you to do over here is to measure the viewing distance. If it's between 8 to 10 feet, then you should go with the 65-inch model. And if it's beyond 10 feet, then go for the 77-inch model. You can ask the question, why not recommend any other brand or any other TV technology which is out there, say mini LED or QLED or mini LED with QLED. The thing is that all of these TV technologies are just inferior to OLED in some or the other way. The only advantage that they can possibly have is with the brightness. And the reason that I've suggested LG G4 and not C4 or any other model in their lineup is because the G4 has enough brightness that a medium lit room can handle. Unless and until you have extremely harsh light in your living room, if you can cover it up with curtains during the day, then the G4 is plentiful. Depending on your viewing distance, you should select your TV by now. The price of the LG G4 65-inch is around 2.3 lakhs. For the 77-inch model, it should be somewhere around 3.5 lakhs. Now, these prices are from an offline shop. If you look it up online, these prices will be significantly higher. So please visit your local dealership and get the best price. And in my experience, this is the best price that I have been offered for these products. You might even get lower than this, but this is what I've got. Now let's move on to the home theater audio aspect to it. Now the first thing first is the AVR. We'll be going with the Marantz NR1711. The reason that I haven't chosen Denon or Yamaha or Onkyo Pioneer or any or these other systems is because Marantz has a class AB amplifier, and the sound of it is a little different than the other, say, AVRs. The Marantz has, let's say, a little warmer tone to it, and I tend to gravitate towards that. And when you're talking about your living room, you do want a little warmth in your living room, whether it's movies that you're watching or listening to music. I think the Marantz, the flavor that it brings would be very good for your living room. Now let's move on to speakers. For speakers, we'll be going with the ELAC Debut 2.0 series for the fronts and the center channel. The Debut 2.0 6.2 for the fronts, the Debut 2.0 5.2 for the surrounds, and the C 6.2 center channel. For the ceilings, we'll be going with the Polk RC80i. Now, you can upgrade to better ceiling speakers over here, but I want to limit the budget over here because the Atmos experience is very limited, especially to the content which is playing. It's only 10 to 20% of the times that you'll be experiencing that. And with an 8-inch woofer for the Polk, it's plentiful. And you will be happy with the experience. Of course, you can pay 50 to 60,000 more, but I would say the return on the investment is diminishing at this point. So for the subwoofer, we'll be going with the SVS 1000 Pro. The reason that I am going with the SB series and not the PB series is because the PB series is ported. Although they give you a port plug and you can plug it and then you can have punchier bass. But for my personal recommendation, I think the SB series would be preferred over the PB series as it's more accurate. So I tend to prefer accuracy over lower bass extension. But if you want lower bass extension, then you can go with the PB series. It's a little costlier. I think you'll have to pay around a 20,000 premium, but you will have headroom in the budget that I'm suggesting. So you have around 50 to 70,000 budget. You can go for these if you want to. You can ask, why have I gone with ELAC and not with anything else? The reason is very simple. ELAC are very neutral speakers, they're precise, and the vocals that come out of it are crystal clear. The bass from the 6.2s are also punchy, although most of your subwoofer bass will be handled by the SVS. So let's talk about the prices. For prices, the ELAC debut 2.0 B6.2 is for 44,000. Debut 2.0 B5.2 is for 34,000. C 6.2 is for 34,000 again, and the RC80i is for 25,000. The SVS SB1000 Pro would be for 80,000. Now, depending on what you selected, now your budget should be 5.02 lakhs if you've gone with the 65-inch model, and 6.22 lakhs if you are going with the 77-inch model. So it's well within the 7 lakh budget. Now, here are some pro tips so that you have a better sound experience. So first thing, when you're cabling your speakers, go for either a 10 gauge or a 12 gauge wiring system. Anything above or below that, please don't go for that. 10 gauge would be a little better than 12 gauge. So if you are going long distances, go for 10 gauge. If you're going short distances, go for 12 gauge. If you don't want your bass to leak out, then put bass straps in the corners. Now, I know it's a living room, and if you can hide those bass straps, then it'll be better, because you want the bass to get absorbed quickly and not to linger on in the room. So try to set up at least 2 bass straps in opposite corners. A common thing that usually happens when you have bookshelf or floor standing speakers is a reflection. And you should have at least a carpet or a rug, right, I would say somewhere around 4 to 5 feet from the bookshelf speakers, so that there's no reflection and you don't hear the same sound twice from the bookshelf. Wall paneling is honestly a little too much for a living room, but if you can add that, maybe add a painting which has canvas. Those are canvas based paintings essentially. Those are also sound absorbent materials. If you can add that, then great. But I think acoustic paneling would be a little too much for a living room. If you can add it, fantastic. I think 2 or 3 acoustic panels should do it. But if you can't, then try to add canvas paintings. They do absorb sound. So when you're placing your speakers in the 5.1.2 setup, the 5 speakers should be at ear level when you're in your listening position. So let's say you are sitting, then all your 5 speakers should be at ear level. And your center channel should be as close as your TV as it can be, so that it emulates as if the sound is coming right from the middle of the TV. So middle of the TV and right in the center. Now this takes me to another suggestion, which is what the height of the TV should be. Now the height of the TV ideally should be whatever the top of the TV is, that should be at your eye level. Now, having said that, that might not be possible for a lot of people. So I would amend that statement and say the height of the TV, the center, should be in line with your sight at minimum. And however much you can You can put your TV down, try to keep it down. Otherwise, center is the least, center is actually the maximum height that your TV should be. So this is my suggestion for a 5 to 7 lakh budget home theater system. And if you want more details, I have an entire home theater setup guide which you can view, and you'll get to know exactly what other options are there in the Indian market. Thank you for watching and happy movie nights.